Trump's next move, and your next move as well. It's yet another cliffhanger of their own making. And they're on the edge of their seats, keeping their heads down, mouths shut, and scared shitless. My prediction, the next time Joy Behar is standing in Costco, it won't just be piss running down her leg. Let's welcome tonight's guest. His books make me regret learning how to read. Host of One Nation and co-host of Fox and Friends, Brian Kilmeade. He has a beard but didn't marry one. Host of the Rubin Report, Dave Rubin. He performs at hospices so patients look forward to death. Comedian Adam Hunter. And she believes in the right to bear arms. Very skinny arms. New York Times bestselling author, Fox News contributor, captive. Brian, you're wrong on everything. So can you give us your opinion on Trump's chances after this verdict? And I'll assume the opposite to be true.
Okay. First off, I met with his writers before, and they told me they were very nice to me. He rewrote all their questions, so we go back to the same format. But I'll answer your question. UFC, first off, there's not one place in America, and I mean this, that Joe Biden could get 18,000 people cheering for him. There's not one place in America that he could get 100,000 people to stand up in 40-degree weather in the middle of the beach as he did in Wildwood, New Jersey. And that's got to be intimidating. You can't keep putting down people that show up for Trump. And Bill Maher, who sat in this seat, and I didn't mind renting it to him, came out and said, you got to stop putting down Trump supporters. You might not like Donald Trump, but at some point, they just need some smelling salts because 18,000 people, I was there the day before, and almost for the weigh-in, because I interviewed Dana White on Saturday, which I'm sure you'll be watching Saturday night at 9 o'clock on One Nation. But, and everybody was asking. There was about 1,200 people who showed up for a weigh-in. The whole thing they were saying, do you think Trump's coming? Do you think Trump's coming? So it's not working. Everything they're doing is not working, and it's got to be frustrating. And now we have people saying over and over again, it looks like Joe Biden's going to lose. At the same time, no one can say for sure if Donald Trump will be in prison or not. How crazy is the world we're living in?
You know what's crazier? That a guy shows up for a weigh-in. Right. I mean, if I go to the local high school for that, I could get arrested.
That's true. And the men in shorts.
Yes,
with
they
great
are.
abs. So what am I doing?
I don't know. So, Dave, how do you think this verdict will affect affects the election? Do you think this influences the undecideds at all?
Greg, I will answer that question, but can we just talk about Joy Behar leaking for one more
Yes.
second? Because
by all means.
So I can't go to Costco anymore. So where do people buy toilet paper in bulk besides Costco? And if you would have thought, like everything being equal, which member of The View was leaking, I feel like everyone would have said Whoopi.
Yeah, she does the commercials for Poise.
Yeah. And here we are.
Yes.
So, as for your question, does it affect the election? Yes, it affects the election. Trump, at this point, whether he is in jail, whether they've put him on the moon, whatever they try to do with him at this point, he is going to win, and I would say win by a landslide. They will pull out every trick in the book, but we need Orange Man back because the other guy, something ain't right.
But the reason why I take you seriously and not Kilmeade.
Thank you.
No, hear me out. On the first show, he predicted this show would be #1. And I was like, eh. And you were like, you have the same certitude now that you did then. That's freaky.
It was the first episode of the Gutfeld with the exclamation point show, which still doesn't quite work for me, but good for you that it's happening. And I did predict that, and I'll tell you something else I predicted. I predicted it about a year before DeSantis won his race. I was backstage with him at a show that we did together, and he said he thought he was going to win his re-election by 2 points, and I said, you're going to win by 20 points, and he won by 20 points. So
you are...
I've got a track record.
You are like a leather-clad Nostradamus. Notice how I didn't say gay Nostradamus? I'm evolving. Adam, great to see you.
He's not wearing leather.
I know he's not wearing leather.
Not where you can see it.
Yes. See, I saw him earlier. Adam, good to see you. Woke up?
Yes, thank you.
What do you make of this whole thing? I haven't spoken to you about the verdict or anything.
I think if Trump goes to jail, it'll be Rikers versus diapers. You know, it'll be Alcatraz versus Alzheimer's. But first of all, I love the UFC, and I love that they supported him. I used to work for the UFC. They hired me to roast fighters, which was not a very safe job.
Yeah.
A couple fighters got mad. John Jones, who's the most powerful black heavyweight since Lizzo. But he got a standing ovation in New Jersey, which, like, that state is more blue than Prince Harry's testicles, you know? And they loved him there, and I just think people got fed up. People didn't like the trial. Like, you know, they didn't like the fact that Trump had a gag order and Stormy had a no-gag reflex order, you know? And,
He still got it. Still got it.
And I just, you know, it got really immature. Like Trump called Stormy horseface, and they said, "Are you mad?" She said, "Nay." You know? So that's what I got.
So, Kat, Trump is. What does it say that Trump is so popular on TikTok in just a matter of hours? Weren't we supposed to be against TikTok?
You say we a lot, but yeah, I mean, because I think he's interesting to watch. I think people want to know what that's going to look like, and I think that all this stuff about, you know, Hollywood's too exhausted and scared. I think that they're really making it more complicated about why people aren't loudly celebrating this, and I think it's quite honestly because in order to do that, they would have to be able to explain it.
Right.
I feel like the average person, you'd be like, okay, so what did he do?
Yeah.
And why was that so bad? What he's 34 felonies for like someone on his team doing a mislabel.
Yeah.
People are basically just saying the same thing about why they don't like him as a person, or this comment or this shit, which is no different. But this specific thing, there's no victim they can parade around on TV to cry, like, you know, like, oh, look at, like, oh, finally justice for who?
Yes.
For a label maker?
Michael Cohen?
Right,
Yeah.
but who's a perjurer,
Yeah,
right? So it's really, I think, explain what did he do wrong? Why was it so bad? Not anything else, but this specific thing, I don't think they could.
This is why they keep saying, like, no one's above the law. They can never point to the victim. They go,
yeah.
well, this is proof. No one's above the law. It's like, well, what happened? I don't know. I don't know what
Wait. It just hit me. It just hit me.
What?
I can get toilet paper at Target. That's what I'm going to do. All right.
You know, he's only here because of pride. Up next, the COVID control freak who won't admit the lab leak.
If you'll be in the New York area and would like tickets to see Gutfeld, go to foxnews.com/Gutfeld and click on the link to join our studio audience.
The Bike Riders.
I built this club out of nothing.
You can't have those colors on in here.
You'd have to kill me to get this jacket off.
Who did it?
I don't want any trouble here.
The new guys, they're crazy.
This is